Let's move on to racist versus racists. Los Matadores versus the Real Americans. Son of a bitch. Well, first of all, I suppose let's put it this way. Let's just kind of toss it out there. We look at Los Matadores. Do we want to call this a racist gimmick, or is it just stupid, or is it both? Like,
it's definitely stupid.
Yeah, there's this whole thought of like dumb but harmless, but is this dumb but harmless, or is this just like flat out racist?
Well, they're not Mexican, right? Like, they're not.
No, I don't think they are.
It's Primo and Epico, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not Mexican. I mean, I don't think. Anybody want to like Google that real quick?
But like, okay. So let's run on the assumption that they're not Mexican. Does that make it better or worse?
Maybe it was just a clarification. I don't know.
I suppose. Fair enough. I am going to Google it here, by the way. Uno momento.
It doesn't seem necessary.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like a doink thing. Like even the harmless gimmicks now, like Santino, they're unmasked. They're just whatever they are. But why why the whole gimmick out of nowhere? It's like Tensai. Like, why are they trying to do this stuff?
Right. Fair enough. What you mean? You don't get behind the sweet tea?
Yeah, I get behind Sweet Tea more than I get behind Tensai. Because at least he's being a person.
Fair enough. They are both Puerto Rican, so still Latino, I guess, but not straight Mexican. Straight Mexican. Is that a term we can use?
I don't know if you can use that, Justin.
See, this is why I love the fact that we're not on like Blog Talk Radio or something, because we would have been banned from Blog Talk Radio a long time ago. Just some of the shit that we say. But in any case, so yeah, of course. So we got Los Matadores versus the Real Americans. I'm not going to lie. This was my piss and snack break. It was the second piss and snack break in this fucking pay-per-view, aside from the Fandango and Summer Rae match. I will give Los Matadores credit. They do actually have a pretty cool theme song.
That's all you're giving them, is it?
That's all I'm going to give them. Like, I mean, they got a cool theme song.
They have a good theme song and they have a good entrance. I like the bull.
I like the bull too. I got to give it up for the bull.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
if we're gonna give a stupid gimmick something, give it something that's at least decent.
Well, I suppose I can get behind that. Fair enough. And it's nice that now Hornswoggle's not the only midget working in the company, so that's probably a good thing.
Is he still working in the company?
Hornswoggle?
What does he do? Is he actually like active on the roster?
Yeah, Hornswoggle came out with Great Khali and Natalia for that mixed tag
that's
match.
Right. Okay.
So they're doing that whole with like the two of them and Santino. They're doing a whole like new oddities bullshit or something like that. I don't know.
They need a good theme song.
They need the oddities theme song. They could just use the oddities theme song and just be like, you know how they did fucking like LOD 2000 with the Legion of Doom. They could just do the oddities 2013 with these guys, I guess. And like before this match, Zeb Coulter, when he comes out with the Real Americans, cuts another really good promo that was hot. And unfortunately, it's a sad reminder of how good that stable could be if they just gave Zeb a microphone. Just every week. Why are these guys not on Raw every week? Zeb comes out with a fucking microphone, cuts a really racist promo, Bill O'Reilly's head blows off, and like, why? I don't know why this is not happening every week, because again, it's just a reminder of how good that stable could be, and they got two really good wrestlers. So I mean, get them on television every week. Why these guys aren't?
They have one really good wrestler.
Well, you know, they got one good wrestler in Jack Swagger.
Yeah, there you go.
So, fair enough. They got the dude that does the big spin, and Jack Swagger's just like, nobody takes me seriously.
That big swing is so over.
It really is. Like, I watched a video on YouTube where he the 100 spin one that he did in like Shikara or something. He had this like little this smaller guy, and he literally spun him 100 times. It's just like, this is insanity. And he didn't even look dizzy, which was crazy.
I worry about a move like that getting over so well, though, especially with the gimmick themselves. Right, they're a heel stable.
Right.
I think they're trying to keep them a heel stable. They're going for the heel heat, except for all the trolls in the audience that do the We the People with them.
Right, that's true.
But that move is so over. They're definitely getting pops for it.
I'm wondering if at some point, it could. Do you run the risk of getting to the point where like that move becomes over, ergo Cesaro gets over, and then they have to do this whole thing where like, you're not really American enough, and then they feud, and it's just like, okay.
Even the double foot stomp over Swagger's shoulders. I mean, that's a pretty good move.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, right? For sure.
It's a move I enjoy watching, and you're not supposed to enjoy watching them necessarily, but if they ever got a hot tag and were able to do that, people would pop for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, so absolutely.
Popping for heels is probably not the best way to go about.
Yeah, but you know what? Is there really such a thing as a heel and a babyface anymore? Or are those just like, we continue to use those terms? Are they just like archaic, just throwaway terms at this point?
They're archaic until you have somebody like Zeb back in the team who's viciously trying to make it a heel team.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's nothing about it that's supposed to be a face.
Right. That makes sense.
It's not a gray area. It's not like, hey, we kind of like Mexicans. It's like, get the Mexicans out.
Well, we kind of like Mexicans. Mexicans are okay.
No, there's no room for Mexicans. So that's, they're not pushing for any warm fuzzies.
This is true, except for the big spin. The big spin gives everyone warm fuzzies. The match itself was okay. It was what it was. None of these guys are like really bad wrestlers. Like Swagger's not a really bad wrestler. He's just he's Kurt Angle light. But he's not a really bad wrestler or anything like that. And nobody in the match was. It's again just an all-time bad gimmick with the fucking Los Matadores. Like it's like all-time top 10 like bad fucking gimmicks.
But for the match, I mean, if you had seen that on SmackDown, would you have gone, "Oh, that should have been on a pay-per-view"?
No,
right? Like it was just a match.
Yeah, absolutely,
pay-per-view level match.
It was something to say like, okay, we got to get by the end of this main event, we got to be fucking close to that 11 p.m. cutoff time, so we got to get something in here. Dave, just kind of as an aside, did you hear anything more on the extent of Curtis Axel's injury?
I didn't.
No.
Is there any updates or?
See, I hadn't checked anything today. The last that I had heard was that it was an injury to both of his hips, wow. and it was described as a freak accident. But I didn't know if it happened on a house show or if he fucking slipped in the shower. We don't really have any information, so I didn't know whether you had heard anything more on that or not.
I can check the torch right now, but
okay.
I haven't heard anything specific.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's move on here. Before we get to any more matches, just a couple of things that I kind of noted from the show that I thought was kind of weird or off. Dolph Ziggler on the Superstar panel instead of having a fucking match. Did that depress the piss out of anybody else?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Dolph Ziggler really deserves to be in the pay-per-view. I thought.
I would have thought that there would have been a fucking place for him somewhere on that card. But I suppose.
Like take out Fandango and shit. Put him in there.
Yeah, well, yeah, oh yeah. Take Great Khali out of that match and put Ziggler in it. I'd watch.
Just don't put Khali on the microphone up there.
Yes, fair enough. I think win match, yes. Brain chop. Like, yeah. Fair enough. It'd
be awful to have him up there.
Oh Jesus.
It's a place for Booker T. It's a place for Big Show.
Yeah.
Bob Backlund if you have to.
Oh fuck, Bob Backlund would be kind of good actually. Backlund, of course, had the fucking backstage promo with the primetime players about the video game. It was pretty good. And then just another thing. Speaking of Big Show, actually, happily, commentary played up the possible Big Show appearance. Like even though he's fired and he's barred from the thing, but they played it up like he was going to show up, and then nothing. So that just bugged me. Like, I mean, like if he's gonna be this real anti-authority, whatever, show up. You're telling me Austin wouldn't have shown up? Like, if you really want to be the anti-establishment anti-hero, don't half-ass it.
But and if they're with the announcers, shouldn't they be like deadpanning the fact that he just doesn't exist? And then when he does come out, then there's like a crazy reaction to it because he's not in the company anymore.
Well, you'd think they'd want to Matt Hardy it,
right? As best they could.
Like what they did with when Matt Hardy was out of the company and the whole Edge and Lita thing, and all. You would have thought they would have gone that angle with it, but.
And then he's on the Titantron somehow.
Yeah,
right?
he hijacked the Titantron. Big Show is a technical genius and hijacked a satellite. It's a James Bond movie apparently, and evil Big Show hijacked a satellite.
That took me right out of the story. It took it broke every wall.
Yeah, a little bit. Because it's not like we sent a camera crew to go find Big Show. It's like, no, he had a fucking camera crew there that works for your company.
And they couldn't cut the feed. They were just like, let him go.
All right, let's move on to the World Heavyweight Championship match. And this was the match that, like, I was talking about. Like I said, I'm in a couple of big sports groups on Facebook, and they do, like, predictors and everything. And there were some people that was actually picking Alberto Del Rio to win this match.
Why?
Children. Like, come on. It's John Cena in a fucking pay-per-view match. Like, what do you think's going to happen? And it's not against The Rock. So, you know, you got to wonder what people actually thought was going to happen in the match. Of course, John Cena wins the World Heavyweight Championship after coming back from injury 16 years early or something like that. Again, I say why, but I guess it's, you know, we all knew it was going to happen. Or we knew the match was going to happen itself. And then, wasn't a bad match, I guess. Can we say that? I'm not a fan of Del Rio in the ring. So I'm like, this is like,
stand the guy.
This is like one of the worst possible matches that you could put on pay-per-view for me, because I'm just like, I don't like either of these guys, what they actually do in the ring. You know what I mean?
Oh, it was like Alberto Del Rio against Kofi Kingston for a while they had
going.
Oh,
yeah, shit.
I just can't watch either of them in the ring, so why bother?
Yeah, fair enough. Nick, what'd you think of the match, sir?
I didn't dislike it.
Right.
There was no reason to give John Cena a title shot this early coming back.
You wouldn't think so.
He didn't build up anything to deserve it.
Yeah, and he wasn't really in the title picture really when he went out. He kind of was, because he's always kind of there, even when he's not. Even when he's injured, he's like the number 2 contender. So he's always kind of there, but yeah, you know, it seemed very strange. Obviously, Justin Carver in our chat stream here has been saying a couple of things there. Actually, he wanted to know what we thought about their new finisher. I'm going to assume he's talking about the new finisher of the Real Americans, maybe, or of Los Matadores, maybe we can get him to clarify that in a second. But on this more specifically, Cena had to win so that it's a bigger deal when Sandow cashes in, which that makes sense to me, because like 2 or 3 times during the match, Sandow's in the back, like molesting the Money in the Bank briefcase, just clutching it and rubbing it like a genie's gonna pop out of it or something. So that, I guess, makes sense, because if you cash it in on Del Rio, it's heel cashing in on heel. So okay, what, he's only really a heel to white people because Mexicans still cheer him or something. This is why it's a funny little muddle, those terms. Los Matadores he was talking about. Well, what do we think of the new finisher for Los Matadores? I don't know that I've actually seen Los Matadores' new finisher.
It was the ending of that match. It was weak.
Sir, piss and snack break.
Man, it was.
I missed the finish of that.
The end of. I think it was like an
axe handle and flatliner kind of thing. Something like. Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually a new finisher. Maybe it is. It wasn't as good as the first one. The first one was weak as hell too.
Wasn't the first one like a double angle slam or something like that?
Well, I guess a double
sort of
angle slam. Is that what you want to call it?
Well, that's what we'll call it.
All right. That.
All right, fair enough. Yes, that is what we will call it. Angle slam. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. So what you're saying is maybe slight improvement, but or slight moving down, but neither one of the moves was overly great.
None of them look like they'd finish a move, like it'd finish a match.
Right.
They just sort of look like they're flashy, sure.
Yeah.
But they don't look like this is over now.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Like, oh my God, it's a catastrophe. Right. Again, like I said, about the World Heavyweight Championship match, the match itself was all right. Again, not a fan of Cena in the ring. Not a fan of Del Rio's in the ring. Usually doesn't translate to great matches, at least for me. But, the match was okay for what it was, and nobody should be surprised by the way that it finished.
And I can't decide if it was a boring match or if I found it boring because I felt it was so predetermined that it didn't keep my attention.
Right.
Like, I didn't have any guesses at the end. It was just going to happen, so why not just let it happen?
Yeah, fair enough. So that happens. John Cena is the new World Heavyweight Champion, and this is title reign number 14.
Man.
I think, combined with WWE and world titles. Because I saw somebody on Facebook, I think it was on Arda Ocal's Facebook page, was like, John Cena, 14-time champion. He's only 2 behind Ric Flair now. And I was like, well, Flair's got 21. Just because WWE says he only has 16, that doesn't mean anything. But I was like, all right, fair point. That is, but like, would you really think in like WWE recognized numbers of world champions? It's like, here's Ric Flair, and that the second one behind him would be John Cena, because I don't think anybody's got 15. So it's like, would you really think that like that would be the succession? Flair, Cena? Then I think the next one in the line is Triple H, I think, because he had 13.
Well, whenever they take the title off Cena, it's always to test somebody else, and that person doesn't always fail. Mm-hmm. But and then they just go right back to Cena. It's just a tester group, right?
And that was basically the same thing they did with Flair. That's why Flair's got 16, or that they say he's got 16.
Right.
Because Flair was the man, and then they'd take the belt off Flair to test somebody else, and if that wouldn't work out, well, then they just put the belt back on Flair because he was the guy. But
does that say there was more quality competitors back in Flair's day?
I would think so, because at least, but then even like with Flair, at the very least, you've got Flair who is, the 60-minute man and everything like that, whereas you have Cena who is,
the 5 moves of doom.
6 moves? Can we say 6 moves of doom?
Is it 6 now?
Maybe. That's I think the six moves of doom is if you include the one arm in the air cheer after he wins.
7 if he runs against the ropes.
7 if he runs against the ropes. Well, it was the same thing, and I hate to keep. Actually, I don't hate. I love to keep going back to Jim Cornette because I love stating his name whenever I possibly can. But it was when he was talking about like back in WWF in 90. 7 or whatever, when I think it was, when they had fake Diesel and Razor Ramon. He was the one that had to teach them how to be Diesel and Razor Ramon. So, and it was Kane, Glenn Jacobs, who was the guy that was fake Diesel. And he looked through a bunch of Kevin Nash matches up to 96 or something like that. And he's like, I wrote down every move and I got to 5, and that was with the hair flip. That's what he said about Nash. And in any case, he's the new world champion. So who knows? It opens up some possible feuds. So let's see where it goes. Divas title: AJ Lee versus Brie Bella. Certainly not the worst Divas match I've seen this year. Certainly not the worst Divas match I've seen this month.
Okay.
You almost replied to that like you were like, I don't believe that for a second, motherfucker.
No, that's a fair statement. I don't understand. There's the match in and of itself, whatever. There's not much to say about it. I don't understand why Brie Bella sounds like that. Does anybody else get that?
Why she sounds like that?
The grunting?
Oh.
Does anybody else have like an issue with the way that she grunts and the way that she makes noise?
I just thought that was what Daniel Bryan liked. Not really, I guess, because I'm such a sports fan that I'm used to like Serena Williams in tennis.
Okay.
Where she's just like, every shot she makes in tennis is followed by this guttural. So
yeah, she's going ham every time.
Yeah, she's just going ham on it every single time. So I guess maybe I just didn't notice it quite so much. I find
it distracting.
Okay, fair enough. Wow. Now that you mention it, is like, I don't. No, I didn't.
You gotta watch it back. It's brutal.
I'm gonna have to now, because now it's just like now it's a matter of contention. Like now I need to know. What bugs me about the Divas division right now is not that it's not like it's not that it's bad, because it's better now than it has been. But my big problem with it is the fact that this whole feud, this whole AJ versus the Bellas feud, is predicated on the fact that AJ isn't part of that stupid reality show. And as a wrestling fan, that's borderline offensive. Like, it bugs me that this, like, it doesn't feel like a natural wrestling feud, right? Like, it just doesn't feel, to me, it doesn't feel normal. Like it, but then again, it's fucking 2013, so I guess it makes sense. But to me, it just doesn't feel normal. I don't know if that comes off to anybody else.
I think the biggest thing that threw me off about the entire feud, I don't remember where I read it, but the commentary team made like a rude comment a while ago, and they brought it up numerous times, that she was crazy, quote unquote, enough to get the date that she won the Divas title tattooed on her neck.
Right.
But that's a face move.
Yeah.
That's a traditional, like, that you're so passionate about this business.
Right.
That you want to commemorate the fact that you won what you've dreamt of. Have you seen the Lita video when she hugs her crying?
Yes.
Like, from 97. Like, she's dreamt of it her entire life. She finally got it, and she got it tattooed.
Yeah.
They should be showing the tattoo off in promos.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Not saying, oh my god, she's crazy. She went to a tattoo parlor and got something special tattooed on her body.
She's insane. Lock her up in a padded room. She got a tattoo. Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense.
And if anybody's crazy, have you seen the Divas show? Like,
it's all of them.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah. That, you know what? I watched one show and I was like, why the fuck did I do this?
You've watched more than me.
I watched, which one was it? I think it was the mid-season. Apparently, they have this thing in television now called mid-season finales. Never heard of this.
So you watched
shit
the wedding
before.
one. I watched the wedding one too.
Yeah, and I was just like, "What the fuck is a mid-season finale?" And I was like, "Oh, this is what it means. It means that they're doing a season, but they're taking a break, but it's not the end of the season. It's like an intermission in an opera. But it's just like, so you're going away for a few months and then you're coming back. Okay, I don't. Okay, fair enough.
They used to call it a hiatus, but now they call it just a finale.
Now they call it a mid-season finale. Exactly. AJ's Black Widow, by the way, is fucking baller. God, I love that move. Move is amazing. That submission.
Everything is good about that move.
Everything is good about that move. It's fantastic. And I'm glad that she kept the belt, because there were so many people that was talking about like, oh no, they're going to take the belt and put it on the Bellas because it's good for the reality show. I was like, are you fucking crazy? Like, are you serious? Is this the point that we've gotten to where it's just like, you put the belt on them because it's better for the offshoot reality show we're doing on the CW network. So, God damn. The wrestling fan in me is slowly dying, and it's because he's stabbing himself. Shit. All right, let's get to the main event. Let's get this train wreck over with. Hell in a Cell for the WWE Championship. Daniel Bryan taking on Randall Orton with special referee Shawn Michaels. Take it away, Dave. What did you think?
It happened.
Yeah, it was a thing that in fact happened.
It was a thing that happened. The match I thought was pretty damn good, actually. And then that happened.
Yeah. I'm assuming, of course, again, that you're referring to the ending of the match.
The ending of the match. Shawn Michaels taking a bump that he's been in how many matches, and Triple H acting like the sky was falling. Triple H can't act at all out of a paper bag.
The dude, he's not a good actor.
It's just bad, and he's looking concerned, and he's like half crying and trying to run after. It wasn't worth putting that much drama into it. Especially with like, he just got kicked in the head. Like, it wasn't a big deal, I guess.
Right.
He's not prone to concussions, really. He was just knocked out. They don't do that for regular referees when they go down. They just let them go down and replace them.
Right. Exactly. Fucking rent a referee.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it kind of sucked for me when they sort of botched that like 20 chairs in the middle of the ring superplex.
Yeah,
it was
a
little bit of botch because he didn't land it. Like, he didn't actually land on the chairs, really.
His leg hurt real bad.
Yeah, his leg hurt real bad. And yeah, like, I really could have done without pretty much everything that Triple H did in that match. Starting with the coming down to the middle of the ring and his fucking do your gerb, Shawn Michaels, and everything he was doing there, and his fucking monkey antics on the outside of like he's climbing the cage and shit. And it's just like, okay.
And what? Where do they put Shawn Michaels in this? Like, do your job. I'm trying to do my job, Dad. Like, there's no. He was the commissioner. Like, he's been in the company forever. He knows how to be a referee.
Exactly.
He's done it before.
He did this literally 2 years ago. This exact same fucking thing. Same match type, same everything. So, yeah. And yeah, just, all the shenanigans and the weird logic of Bryan, like, pushing Shawn away, and then Shawn being like, you need my best friend in the face, and then fucking kicking him, and I don't know. To me, it didn't make sense. The super kick didn't look good. It was from a bad camera angle, and you didn't really hear it. And then he fucking counts the pinfall, and I'm like, all right, apparently this is the fucking way we're going. And
I don't know what to do. But it's Daniel Bryan. He likes him, but whatever. And he hates Orton, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It just didn't fit.
No, and it just I guess it is what it is, and Randy Orton's the fucking champion, and apparently we're back to 2007 because it's like Cena's the world champion and Orton's the WWE champion. But at the very least, you know what? We were all crying for Randy Orton to be a heel. So now he's a heel. So now he's a heel and is at least a little bit interesting now. So
make him more interesting.
Yeah. All right, sir. I think what we're going to do, I think we're going to cut this off now. I want to thank you very, very much for taking the time to call in. I know you've been on the line with us for about 45 minutes now, but we want to thank you.
Look at that. Yeah.
What's that?
I'd look at the clock, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But thanks so much for calling in, Dave. It was excellent to talk to you, sir.
Problem.
We hope to have you on again here real soon. Hopefully we're going to get something a little bit better than Skype because the audio quality on it hasn't been great in some places. We lost you. It's a little crackly in some places, but we're going to put it together.
Audio quality.
It's the cable quality, whichever. But thank you very much for taking the time to come on, talk to us about this. We're going to have you on again real soon because you're a very interesting wrestling mind to talk with, so we like having you on.
Good. All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Thank you. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dave Pelrine, and again, we apologize about the quality of the audio there in some places. We're going to have to take a peek at some of our cables and see what we're going to be able to do about that. In any case, that is it. That's it for talking about Hell in a Cell. Yeah.
I mean,
sort of.
We haven't really talked back and forth about the Brian and...
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, flag on the play, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we have what we have. We have Randy Orton with the belt now.
Yes.
So clearly, I mean, this is not over. Like, I mean, this is still going to go for a bit.
Oh, it can't be over. I mean, it's not it is a clean win, but it's not a clean win.
Yeah, it's a decisive win. It's just not a clean one.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had a decisive 1-2-3, even though there was a whole bunch of shenanigans that led to it, but you still had a decisive 1-2-3.
Right.
So technically, they didn't lie. They said there's gonna be a WWE champion at the end of this, and well, there was, or there is rather. So we got one, and it's Randy Orton. So, and again, clearly we know that this is not over. Where does this go from here? What kind of match could you see? Because we've done regular one-on-one matches. Now we've done special referees. We've done Hell in a Cell with a special referee.
Yeah.
Where do we go from this point with this feud?
I'm not sure if you could go much higher.
Mm-hmm.
Could go with 3 stages of hell. Or an I Quit match. Mm-hmm. Something, to definitely pick a winner.
Yeah, to put a stamp on this thing. Fair enough.
And have a stipulation if anybody gets involved.
Yeah.
They're out of the company.
Right.
But I mean, that will never happen because of this whole what's good for business crap that's going on.
Right.
With creative right now, per se.
Right.
Because I'm just going to just say it. It's creative. It's a storyline. It's theater. That's what wrestling is, and that's why we love it so much.
Right. Fair enough.
But
yeah.
Oh, you got me perplexed. You're looking at your phone.
Oh no, I was signing out of Skype on my phone, just so that nobody tries to call again. Because my phone's useless. Yeah, that's fair. And actually, I see Dave is still in the chat stream. I can see an Iron Man match out of this, showing that Randy can't hang. An Iron Man match would be interesting. We haven't seen one in a while. We haven't seen a real one. Because the Iron Man matches we've seen in the last little while have been half hours. That's not an Iron Man match. An Iron Man match is an hour.
Daniel Bryan can go.
Daniel Bryan can be a 60-minute man, no problem.
He was dominating that match for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no reason why Daniel Bryan shouldn't have won that.
Right.
In my mind, anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. It's going to be interesting to kind of see where this goes from here. I'd like an Iron Man match. I'd like 3 Stages of Hell, because 3 Stages of Hell can be really good matches when one of them's not an ambulance match. You remember that fucking Cena and Ryback?
Yep.
3 Stages of Hell that ended with an ambulance match.
And he put him through the top of the ambulance.
Yes.
Which he kind of almost missed the gap.
He did. He did almost miss the gap, which was really, really funny. But fuck. Yeah, 3. So, I mean, any of those options I think would be really good. It's like, and it's wrestling. There's so many good options that you can use in wrestling. There's just, you have great match types as long as you have good wrestling minds that are looking at the actual feud itself. I'm scared for the fact that there aren't great wrestling minds that are the ones that are in control of creative. But in any case, so it would be, yeah, any one of those I think would be an excellent option. Do you see anyone else for the foreseeable future anyways kind of getting into the mix for the WWE title, or do you think this is gonna kind of continue to stay for a little bit? Or like if Orton leaves this feud with the belt,
yeah,
like definitively, like, okay, this feud is over, who would you see as the next one in line?
Oh, jeez.
After Bryan.
Like, they're not really pushing anybody else.
It doesn't feel like it, does it?
No, it's just, you got Orton, Bryan, maybe Alberto Del Rio, and then everybody else is just B roster.
It's just kind of there.
Solid B plus.
Solid B plus. Fuck you. Justin Carver just tossed an interesting name out there. Big Show. They rehire Big Show gets rehired somehow. And
that's interesting.
And then he goes for the WWE title. You got to imagine that Big Show's career is probably wrapping up relatively soon. He's been in it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think he's over with the crowd now. So as long as they don't do like Big Show's 400th heel turn and keep him as like a babyface, it would be kind of nice to see him close out his career with a little run for the belt. And ultimately, he would be a guy I'd like to see win the belt and retire. Right?
Okay.
Like, he wins the title and then like retires the next night on Raw or something. Because it's like, I don't think he's ever had that belt. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he's ever had the WWE title. I might be wrong in saying that, but I don't think he has. So it would be cool that, you know, it would be kind of cool to see him win the belt, and then same thing that Trish Stratus did with the Divas title. She won the Divas title for the 7th time or whatever and retired.
Yeah.
And I think Lita did the same thing. So it would kind of be a cool thing to see. So Big Show, I think, would be a great option there. And here's one more question to get us out on.
Okay.
Who, but aside from Alberto Del Rio, who do you think is the next guy, like, for, you know, John Cena with the world title? Can we say probably with authority that it's going to be Sandow? Because Sandow's got money in the bank.
Sandow does have money in the bank, but I don't know. I can't really see Sandow as being the champion.
No?
No. It's just something, I mean, he's a good wrestler. But, I mean, I don't think he has what it takes to be.
I would like to have seen him had a little bit of a run with a mid-tier title. Like, either... like him and...
Put the IC champion chip on him.
Yeah.
And give him a run on that first to see if he can go with it.
To see if he can carry a title. Yeah, for sure.
And then maybe if he can, then put him in the running for it. I mean, right now I can't see him as being
fair enough.
If there wasn't Alberto Del Rio, I couldn't see him in the running for it.
Right.
Later on down the road, I know, like, this is just coming from my head. I probably know CM Punk is going to get the title again.
I would like to see Punk with another title run. That would be, I think that would work for me. Mm-hmm. As a face champion, it would be good.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I would love, and this I'm going to book something.
Nick books it.
I don't know if this is gonna be like this SummerSlam or next SummerSlam that I'm gonna book this for.
Okay.
But CM Punk is going to become the champion.
Okay.
It's gonna win the belt from whoever has it. Maybe Cena has it. Maybe Alberto Del Rio. Maybe even Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck!
Sheamus is coming back soon. That's right.
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with it.
Yes, I'm gonna have to. I guess.
And
fella,
who should come back?
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold.
Okay. Keep going.
Just for SummerSlam.
Right.
He comes back. It's only a one-shot thing. SummerSlam for the title.
Do you mean WrestleMania?
Yes.
Okay, no worries. I know. I was just double checking. I was just making sure.
Whatever, you said WWF a couple times.
That's
tonight.
true. You know what? I did. So
give
you get
me my fuck up some.
Exactly. It's
okay. So he comes back one time only. For the belt, he wrestles, he wins it.
Austin Punk.
Okay. So now that he has the belt, why not stay a little bit longer?
Okay.
And get a good storyline going. I mean, maybe he's not going to wrestle as much like what happened when Rock came back.
Right.
But at least with Austin, you have somebody who's good on the mic. You have somebody who's going to come out and raise hell. More than the Rock's rock shows.
Right.
Something interesting. Something to stir the shit pot in the company.
Right on.
It'd be good for television.
I enjoy that. That to me comes off as a good feud for Randy Orton, right? Because if Orton's going to be this big heel, and Orton's the not just the heel, the corporate heel, and he can still kind of be that whole Austin, I was before and I still am, and don't you forget it, a legend killer. What bigger legend is there than the legend of Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Well, there you go. Yeah.
And one more time, I am going to kill that legend. Right? So, it could be a good feud for Randy Orton. I like the way you think, sir.
It's all up in here.
All up in there. I like that. Very cool. I think that's it.
I think that's it, too.
I think we're done. This has been a long podcast, but we got a little bit that I'm going to have to cut out there because of our technological issues.
And to tell you the truth, I don't think there's going to be one next week because I'll have a day off.
Don't you?
No.
I'm not 100% sure that I have a day off.
That I have is going to be on the 2nd.
There you go. So, hey, it's a good thing that this was an extra long edition because we might not have one next week.
We might have to do one at the wrestling event.
It's possible. That's a possibility as well. Justin Carver wasn't in listening to us at the beginning of the show, but Twin City Wrestling, of course, November 2nd in Blockhouse, November 16th in Blockhouse, November 29th at the Dartmouth Sportsplex for the next set of television tapings. Cannot wait for any of that. I am going to be at all of those shows. Nick, of course, is going to be working all those shows. TCW Smart Mark Alley hopefully will be in full force at all of those shows. Cannot wait for those. That's it. That's our Hell in a Shell. Hell in a Shell.
Ding.
Good night, everybody. Yeah, man. Hell in a Cell 2013, our review show. And just, you know what? Talking wrestling with good wrestling fans, and we absolutely love doing that. I think Nick's got to pee real bad, so we're going to get out of here, folks. Thank you very much for listening to episode whatever the hell it was of Last Fan Standing. Extra long edition because we probably won't be with you next week, but the week after that, we're going to be giving you the recaps of the TCW show. We're going to be giving you all kinds of goodness, so tune in a couple of weeks. We'll let you know well in advance when the next podcast is going to be. We are gone for another week. I'm Justin.
And I'm Nick.
And it's No Holds Barred Productions. Last Fan Standing. See you later.
Bye-bye. Boys.